ContraPoints Natalie Wynn is known for the effort she made in the late 2010s to appeal to young men on the online alt-right and the success she had in deradicalizing them. A lot of this narrative has to do with moments of direct address and the creation of an implied audience. I want to analyze her Jordan Peterson video in order to understand those aspects of Wynn's art and rhetoric. Hi, I'm David. Welcome to YouTube, a literary analysis. In this series, I combine my skills as a literary critic and a person who watches too much YouTube in order to explore videos more closely as works of YouTube art. ContraPoint is a channel run by Natalie Wynn. She creates elaborate, sometimes abrasive video essays about subjects ranging from incels to the concept of opulence. At any rate, she has many fans and seems to have influenced many creators. This is my third video about her because I think that her work is key to understanding how video essays operate and what they can be. If you don't know, Jordan Peterson is a psychology professor, author, and media personality who became well known for his attacks on liberal leftist ideas, including trans rights. He also became a favorite target for leftist content creators.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
The smart and normal Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Who loved taking apart his arguments and making fun of his hypocrisies and whatever this is. ContraPoint's 2018 Jordan Peterson is emblematic of these attacks from the left, but it is also different from most in its direct address both to Peterson himself and, more importantly, to Peterson's audience. The video opens with Wynn's many alter egos, the 18th century royalist Lady Farbington addressing the audience. While it is not rare to open a video with an address, the archaic and convoluted language used along with the ornate costume draws our attention to direct address and audience creation. The Farbington section ends with Wynn telling her not to break the fourth wall. Don't address the audience directly, thus further stressing the fact that the audience is there and needs to be thought about. It's probably not news to anyone that many YouTubers, among them video essayists, address an audience. Perhaps still not news, YouTubers have limited information about who that audience is. YouTube gives you some metrics like geographical location, age, and gender, and you can get a sense from the comments and other factors, but all these are still just inferences. As far as it is part of the horizon of the video itself, the audience is an implied audience created by the creator through the way the videos are made and through the video's rhetoric. To give a simple example, if I mention Kevin Durant without explaining who he is, it implies that my audience follows the NBA. In a way, it creates an implied audience of NBA fans. If I mention Judith Butler without explaining who they are, I'm implying an audience who watches a lot of video essays. Through a variety of rhetorical devices like direct address, humor, and cultural references, Wynn creates at least two audiences. Part of the rhetorical work she does is joining them together into one audience, or at least showing that they can have common ground. So the video has two implied audiences at least. One audience is fans of Jordan Peterson. The other is left-leaning or at least left-curious people who have similar opinions to ContraPoints. The left-leaning audience is implied through the use of a very problematic pronoun, the first-person plural we.
I'm starting to think we may need to take this guy seriously.
She says that we might need to take him seriously. We, not I. But this we is only those who share the same basic opinions that she has. Otherwise, they would have other reasons to take Peterson seriously. The second audience, the one who are already fans of Peterson, is implied with another problematic pronoun, you.
He's got a lot of fans on YouTube, and I hope you guys are here because I want to talk.
With these two sentences, a new audience is created. The you guys, an audience of Peterson fans who are open-minded enough to hear a critique, is now created or implied. Are there actual people who love Peterson and also love Natalie Wynn? I guess they exist. There is some evidence that they did or do exist. But for the issue at hand, it does not matter if they are real people. What matters is that Wynn postulates that they are there with this statement of hope. The rest of the video then is addressed to two main audiences, the we and the you, the fellow liberal leftist and the open-minded Jordan Peterson fanboy. There is another addressing rhetoric in the video, addressing Jordan Peterson directly. This address does not imply an audience of one, but is a way to frame an argument as direct response to a particular person. We're not expected to imagine the real-life Jordan Peterson as watching and responding, but there exists the constructed Peterson Wynn created. In order to make this clear, Wynn puts Peterson on a robot and then on a mannequin. The address to Peterson serves other purposes than creating an implied audience. First, it shows Wynn open to dialogue. She has ingested Peterson's writing and she is not going to talk around him or against him. She will talk to him directly. It's part of her point that you can take Peterson seriously at the same time that you disagree with his most prominent ideas. At the same time, there's also this.
So Dr. Peterson, Professor, Daddy.
Wynn struggles with how to address. She moves from Peterson to Jordan to more official Dr. Peterson or Professor to probably the cringiest possible choice, Daddy. Daddy is cringe and therefore funny because it evokes two worlds that most people like to keep separate. One is the family sphere, where the term daddy is used by mostly small children to refer to their male parents. Daddy is relevant in this sphere because Peterson promotes himself as a kind of father figure for lost boys who need someone with authority to tell them how to live their lives. The other world invoked is sexual language, where lovers might be called daddy, especially if they are older men. It fits here because Wynn seems to have a crush on Peterson and some kind of liaison with a sex bot version of Peterson. Jordan, Dr. Peterson, Professor.
Daddy.
Mixed together, it feels very, very cringe and also quite blah. The address as Daddy encapsulates one of the defining features of the implied audience created by Wynn. They can handle edgy humor, they can discern irony, they are in on the joke. By calling Peterson Daddy and everything else that goes along with it, Wynn makes the move of uniting the two distinct audiences that she created. Whether you are a liberal, a leftist, a Petersonian with alt-right leanings, if you can handle ContraPoints calling Peterson Daddy and sharing a milk bath with a robotic avatar, etc., etc., along with a discussion of postmodern philosophy, you are part of Wynn's audience. And perhaps if you are a Peterson fanboy who can handle all this, maybe you have much more in common with the left-leaning Wynn created than with the transphobic, misogynistic Jordan Peterson. Joining of audiences under the edgy extreme humor mixed with curiosity umbrella is what people talk about when they talk about ContraPoint's ability to de-radicalize. I have no way of knowing from this video how successful this was with real Peterson fans. But I think I showed you how, by way of address and audience postulating, Wynn creates this narrative in the videos themselves. In this way, Wynn moves people by shaping a new audience. So let me know what you think I missed, what I got right, what I got wrong. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, if you think I made something simple, more complicated, that's fine. Sometimes that's my job too. Thank you for listening.